Hello. So, I'm still in the early game in my Satisfactory world, which means I don't have any of the nice looking buildable blocks. I need quite a bit of coupons to unlock most of the stuff that I want, so let's make a coupon factory. I had just recently unlocked the dimensional storage by collecting some of those Mercer spheres. So before I really got into the nitty gritty of building the biggest project in my world so far, I wanted to collect more of these spheres to upgrade my cloud storage. After all, I am getting tired of having to hold every single resource in my very limited backpack. I haven't quite unlocked a jetpack yet, so exploring for these things is a mixture of ladders, ramps, and death. Lots of death. Okay, in my defense, it was dark, and these bugs are freaking fast, man.
Oh my god. Oh, no!
I gotta say though, exploring in this game is actually pretty fun. There's stuff to blow up, awesome scenery, scary aliens,
Whoa!
cool caves, and sometimes, only sometimes, jump scares.
Oh my gosh, this place is crazy. What the heck? Oh my god. Oh god. Remain calm. Oh my god, it's fast. I can hear it. I'm gonna blow it up. Hello? Can it crawl on the wall? Oh my god. Is that wings? Does it have wings? Ugh. Oh shit. Yeah, what's up?
After collecting some more spheres and discovering the desert, I was finally ready to head back to my base and set up some dimensional storage. I built 3-dimensional depots for cables, wires, and sheets, 5 for iron plates, rods, screws, reinforced plates, and rotors, then 1 for concrete. I also spent quite a bit of time doing this so I could research upload upgrade tier 1, tier 2, storage upgrade tier 1, and tier 2. After finally getting together some cloud storage, I had one more mini project before officially starting the coupon factory. Finishing phase 2. And to finish that, I needed to automate versatile frameworks and automated wiring. So, I began building a highway over to the nearest coal node, which also had iron and copper nearby, luckily. Once I made a road to my destination, I began building a big, flat platform. I hopped down to cut down trees that were sticking through the floor, then I placed a ladder to get up and down from the miners. The nearest coal node is actually a Pier 1, so with a Mark II miner, it will mine 240 coal per minute as default. I decided to overclock it slightly to have it mine 270 coal per minute, as that's the max that my Mark III conveyor belts can currently handle. I ran out of steel beams though, so I tried to hitch a ride using my old automatic truck.
Take me with you, bro. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Okay, that did not work.
I placed a conveyor lift to rise the coal up to a bridge that I made, then I brought it over to my beautiful platform.
Okay, for coal.
I repeated the process to bring 270 iron ore per minute as well. Okay, next up is placing the foundries. Each foundry takes 45 coal and 45 iron ore per minute to run. which means I need 6 foundries to evenly split up the 270 per minute input. I built a simple setup to split the items up, then I ran power from my base up to the platform.
There we go.
I took a small break from the steel to go ahead and bring some limestone over to the platform, because I knew I needed concrete for something later. I also grabbed another iron node nearby because I needed to automate modular frames. Okay, now this is where things get sloppy. I guess I was so excited to complete phase 2 that I forgot how to add, because the rest of this build is just kinda slammed together how I would imagine a 3-year-old who can only play with their feet would build. But anyway, I put down 3 smelters for the new iron, 3 constructors, 2 of which responsible for iron rods, while 1 makes plates. Then 1 assembler for reinforced plates, then another one for modular frames. I put some power shards into the machine so that the math would work again. Then I started thinking about the versatile frameworks. I got the mod frames now, so let's finish that steel I set up earlier. I built 5 more constructors, 2 of them making steel pipes, then 3 making steel beams. I then placed another assembler for the versatile frameworks, then another for the encased beams, which is the whole reason I brought the concrete earlier. Okay, this monstrosity that I've decided to create now produces versatile frameworks and encased beams. Not bad, but I'm still missing one more component. Automated wiring. Okay, the automated wiring needs stators and cables, which require copper wires. So, I built another small platform for the sole purpose of making wires and cables. Then, I just plopped down some conveyor belts to go directly into the original platform. I placed an assembler for stators, then one final freaking machine for the damn automated wiring. There it is. Now I just AFK for a bit until I can pipe all the stuff into the space elevator. Oh, and as a side note, I had already automated smart plating before I began recording this video, so that's why I'm not building it here. Before going AFK for a bit, I unlocked the final milestone before phase 3, which was hypertubes. So I spent some time learning how they work.
Yes. Whoa. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Okay, after going AFK for a bit, I built up a pretty good supply of the stuff I needed to continue on with the next part of the game. I brought it all over to my space elevator, then finally completed phase 2. Also, this animation is very satisfying, and I don't believe it'll ever get old.
Phase 2 of Project Assembly completed. You have been performing more adequately under pressure and are closer than ever to saving the day. Perhaps you were the right choice for the job. Time will tell. You will now enter Phase 3 of Project Assembly. Continue as you are, and there should be no issue. For humanity. For Fix-It.
After that was over, I spent some time looking over what I would need next. Then, I read over all the next milestones. Of course, I went ahead and unlocked jetpacks as soon as possible. Ah, much better. I also unlocked oil processing. Okay, well now I'm thinking it's probably a good time to actually start the project that this video is about. First things first, I need to locate a good spot for this build. Yeah, I think this swampy lake will do just fine. I need to make a long ass highway over to this biome because, well, I want to. And it'll make going back and forth much easier. I did actually have just a few coupons laying around, so I purchased what little I could for building the highway. It's finally time for me to learn how this blueprint designer works. After a few pretty bad attempts at a highway, I managed to land on this design. I made one for a straight road, a four-way junction, a turn, and a ramp. I'm sure I'll need more later, but this will do for now. I also upgraded my storage for concrete a bit. I'm definitely going to need it. Okay, with all that being said, I started the process of making my highway all the way over to that golden spot. I also had to connect wires individually to each streetlight. If there is a way to automatically connect these wires using the blueprint designer, please let me know. After getting the highway to a spot I found suitable, I decided to take a brain break by making an in-game to-do list. Now, I know there are better ways to do this, but I was broke on tickets at this point, and I don't care. I always like making to-do lists in games like this. I don't know, it feels pretty awesome when you finally get to delete stuff off of it. Okay, now we are to the main course of the video, starting the ticket factory. First, I had to crunch some numbers to figure out exactly how I was going to build this. I know that it's kind of lame, but my goal was to make 30 versatile frameworks per minute. This was still one of the most complicated recipes that I knew, and I figured one day once I'm in the late game, I could repurpose this factory for something else. But for now, I need tickets. So once I had a rough idea of how much raw materials would need to go into the building, I headed back out to the swamp. Built a concrete platform for the base of the building, slapped down some miners, then began the madness. At first, I did use some very ugly means to get the materials over to the foundation. But don't worry, this was just to get the ticket factory started. Once I finally could buy all the other cool building stuff, I pretty much deleted all of those conveyor belts to make it look way nicer. Okay, yeah, you get the gist. I built a lot of machines. But eventually, I had a proper factory running. This thing takes a lot of power though, so I did have to unplug a few of my other buildings back at my old base. Probably gonna focus on fixing that issue in the next video. I went AFK for an entire night of sleep while this thing was eating and crunching metal into tickets. When I woke up the next day, I got 67 of those bad boys. To a professional, that probably seems like a baby number, but for me, it actually felt like I was rich. For about 5 seconds because I instantly spent all of them. I used the new carbon steel finish to make my machines look nice. Then I placed some frame foundation underneath the concrete so it didn't look like it was floating anymore. I changed the look of the walls, which I actually do several times while making this factory until I finally got it to something that I liked. I didn't make the second floor like a full floor, hence why I'm putting railing here. I don't know. I thought it would look cooler that way. Sue me. I also experimented with these badass looking windows. And I played with the new roofs. I gotta admit, I love those windowed roofs. Then I got a building that started to look, well, like a building. P.S. This is actually pretty far from the way that the final design looks, but I thought I'd show this rough one along the way. This is also when I started deleting my original conveyor belts to attempt to make them look much nicer.
I actually did it.
More experimenting with interesting pillar designs, and after many, many more hours, I started to finally get something that I was a little bit more proud of. Okay, with that main building complete, it raises an interesting question. How am I going to connect my highway to it? I didn't want to just ramp my highway all the way down there, so I chose a different option. Yeah, I decided to build a huge skyscraper with an elevator inside just for the sole purpose of getting down there and looking cool. Going from this to this to this. Yeah, I know what you might be thinking. Well, that seems unnecessary. And yeah, it was. But man, I had so much fun building that ticket factory, I basically thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna make a skyscraper too. I finished up some fine details like adding a proper bridge between the two buildings, then finally adding lights so I can see when it's dark. Well, there we are. That is the biggest thing I've made in my world so far. And it actually created the perfect problem to solve. Power. Looks like we got more work to do. I'll see you in the next one.